Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna show you how to make your no-bake energy ball bites. All right, so we're using this recipe right here. And as I mentioned already in class, this is a wonderful, healthy, healthier snacking alternative compared to a lot of other snacks out there. This energy ball recipe makes roughly 18 1-inch balls. So the cool thing about this recipe is that you can really make it your own. You have your energy ball base, so you have your ingredients that you have to have in your recipe. That's kind of your either base of your energy ball, the base of your oatmeal granola bar bite, and then from there you can add half of a cup of anything else that you'd like, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. So what I've done here, I've gone ahead, and your recipe calls for, let me see, 1.5 cups of rolled oats, 2 tablespoons of some sort of power mix-in, such as our chia seeds, or flax seeds, or hemp seeds, or if you don't want any of those 3, you're more than welcome to use just 2 extra tablespoons of rolled oats, half a cup of some sort of nut butter or nut butter substitute of choice. And for those of you that picked up ingredients at UHS, you picked up sun butter, so that's our nut butter substitute, but you can use peanut butter, you can use almond butter, you can use whatever you'd like for this. You're gonna use 1/3 cup of some sort of sticky liquid sweetener, and that's gonna kind of help add a nice sweet flavor to our energy ball bites, and it's gonna help make sure everything sticks together, okay? For us, we're using honey, but if you don't like honey, you're more than welcome to use maple syrup, and then also that's going to also add a nice maple flavor to your energy ball bite recipe. We're also going to use a teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt, and then for those of you making that have picked up ingredients at UHS, like I said, you're going to be using 1/2 a cup of chocolate chips. That's what you're going to be using. But if you have other ingredients at home you want to add, such as raisins, craisins, white chocolate chips, peanuts, cashews, something like that, you're more than welcome to add those. I know that somebody mentioned to me the other day they're not a huge fan of chocolate, and I've got some people that are allergic to chocolate. You're more than welcome to add peanuts or something instead of chocolate chips. That 1/2 cup mix-in requirement here, that's really up to you. You're able to really make these energy ball bites whatever flavor you'd like. So today I have my oats, my flaxseed, my honey, my peanut butter, and then I am making chocolate chip with craisins, so the dried cranberries for my energy ball bites. And so what I've done is I'm doing half and half. I need 1/2 cup of some sort of mix-in total, so I'm using 1/4 of a cup of mini chocolate chips and 1/4 a cup of craisins, of those dried cranberries. Once you've determined what kind of ingredients or what kind of mix-ins you'd like for this recipe, this recipe is pretty straightforward. We're gonna place all of our ingredients together in a large mixing bowl. Our oats, our power mix-ins, our nut butters, sweetener, vanilla extracts, everything together. We're gonna stir them until they're just combined. If for some reason it feels like our mixture's too wet, we're gonna add some more oats to it. If it seems like it's not quite holding together very well, we're gonna add some more oats. If it's too dry, we're gonna add some more peanut butter or more sun butter. Okay, but ideally it should resemble a somewhat sticky dough when it's all done. Once we combine it together in a dough, we're gonna put it in the refrigerator for 30 minutes, let it set, and then we'll roll it into 1-inch balls. So, I'm gonna go ahead. I've actually got everything pre-measured out to kind of save on time for myself. So I have, oh my goodness, my 1 1/4 a cup of rolled oats right here, all ready to go. I've got my 2 tablespoons of my flaxseed to add a little extra protein, a little extra texture to this recipe. see, I've got my half a cup of peanut butter that I'm using. I think that some of you guys can kind of see real quick. My apologies, I meant to bring my head cam. I've got a little head strap here that I'm able to use to help. There we go. Got a little head strap I typically like to use when I'm recording these recipes, but I apparently left it at UHS. So I'm going off my little tripod instead today. So my apologies that you're gonna have to wait a minute to see some of this stuff. So I've got my peanut butter. Like I said, if you're allergic to peanut butter, you're more than welcome to use sun butter. I'm gonna use 1/3 of a cup of honey. Best I can. Ooh, this honey's really, really thick. I personally prefer honey in this, but I have made these before with maple syrup. So when at my previous district, we've made a recipe very similar to this one, and I let students choose if they wanted honey or if they wanted maple syrup. And I had a lot of students that used maple syrup instead of honey, and they really, really liked it. I'm gonna do my best to try to get this as full as possible. Awesome. This recipe is very, very sticky, as a heads up. So you're gonna be doing a lot of hand washing, I guarantee it. It's a very, very sticky recipe. But the great thing about this is that once you get them all rolled out and together, they're not super sticky. Okay, it's just sticky to make. All right, and actually I'm gonna have to wash my hands. Got peanut butter everywhere. And my dogs are all standing around me because they can smell the peanut butter right now. They love peanut butter. Unfortunately, we're putting chocolate in this recipe, so they're not gonna be able to eat any of it, but they love peanut butter. That's their favorite. All right, let's see, I need a teaspoon of vanilla. A little bit more than a teaspoon, that's okay. And then I'm gonna add, like I said, I've got 1/4 cup of mini chocolate chips and 1/4 cup of cranberries. But those of you that are picking up ingredients at the high school, you're gonna have just the chocolate chips to work with. So from here, I'm gonna do my best. I'm just gonna go ahead and mix all these together. Mix all this together here. That shouldn't be. Try to tilt this up so you guys can kind of see it a little bit. Best I can, at least. The peanut butter is going to be kind of the trickiest part to work with. That's what's got the peanut butter and the honey are what's going to hold all of this together. Okay. Like I said, I wish I would have brought my head cam and I forgot it. When you're mixing this together, if you're having trouble mixing this together with a rubber spatula or a spoon of some sort, you are more than welcome to use your hands. But like I said, I will warn you, it's gonna get really sticky really quick. Okay, you can see it's kind of coming together, kind of forming a dough now. It smells pretty good. Doing my best to get all of this stuff together. As you can see, I've got a little bit here that is not quite mixed in just yet. I think I've got enough peanut butter and enough honey here. I'm gonna keep mixing to make sure it gets all mixed together. But if you're having trouble getting it all together, you are more than welcome to add some additional oats to this. If you mismeasured your oats and you have some sort of recipe that's a little too dry, you're more than welcome to add extra honey or extra peanut butter. So this should look like kind of like a solid dough where if I picked it up, it would stick together. So I could probably go ahead and form these into balls right now, but these are gonna form better into balls once I let them sit for a little bit. But when I do form them into balls, I have a couple options. I am more than welcome to use my hands and just grab little balls like this, okay? And kind of form them into balls with my hands. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make them bite size. I want them to be just like a bite big. If you wanna make them 2 bites, you're more than welcome to do that. The other way you can do it is if you don't wanna just reach them with your hands, is you can get a spoon and use a spoon to measure them out. You can get a spoon or 2 to measure them out and make them into little balls, okay? You're probably still gonna have to use your hands a little bit to form them into that nice ball shape that you're wanting. Okay. But you can use a spoon to help you kind of get those measured out a little bit. Or if you have a portion scoop like I do, or some sort of cookie scoop, a smaller one, you can use a cookie scoop to measure them out. The cookie scoops are honestly the easiest way to measure them into balls. But if you don't have a cookie scoop, you can use your hands, you can use a spoon, you can use whatever. But when you're done measuring them all out, they should turn out like this, okay? Best thing to do, right now this is very sticky like I said. I'm gonna put these in the refrigerator and let them set up, and I'll finish forming these into balls later. But the best thing to do, once you have them all formed into balls, is to put them in a sealed container and refrigerate them. All right? These balls are great to eat as is. They don't have to be refrigerated. There's nothing in them that says they have to be refrigerated, but they're gonna hold up a little bit better, and they're not gonna be as sticky if you keep them in the refrigerator. Okay, so that's why it's recommended that they're refrigerated. But technically everything else is good to be left out as is. All right? So like I said, these are a really great healthy snacking alternative. We'll talk tomorrow. We'll talk in class about some of the different food groups that you have in these energy balls, and some of the different essential nutrients that are in these energy balls, and why we call them energy balls to begin with. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna sign off, or I'm gonna let you guys go. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Okay? Hope you guys enjoy this recipe.